Good morning, beloveds. So Foster found the heating pad. I came in here and I didn't notice him, and he made one of those little noises at me, and he is full on stretched out with his on the heating pad. So I was like, okay, so somebody's gonna put it to use. We need to show it to Gabby, because she'll share with Foster. She won't share with anybody else. And when the others are on the heating pad, she's grumpy. She's 18. She's allowed to be grumpy. All right. So it is November 7th. It's actually election day. So if you haven't, I did early voting.
Surprise!
I would suggest you go vote. But, so there's that. November 7th, our title is No Other Way. Our author is Martha Smock. This was published in Unity's The Best of the Daily Word from 1986, and it looks like a poem, so we're going to read it as if. All right. No other way. Could we but see the patterns of our days, we should discern how devious were the ways by which we came to this, the present time, this place in life, and we shall see the climb our soul has made up through the years. We should forget the hurts, the wanderings, the fears, the wastelands of our life, and know that we could come no other way or grow into our good without these steps our feet found hard to take, our faith found hard to meet. The road of life winds on, and we, like travelers, go from turn to turn until we come to know the truth that life is endless, and that we forever are inhabitants of all eternity. Definitely a poem. All right. But it sparks to mind a conversation that happens occasionally. Actually, it happens fairly frequently. And that conversation is, everybody has a mix of good and bad in their life. And a whole lot of in between. There are a lot of things that have happened in my life that would be non-preferred. There are things that I would not wish on anybody else. They are things that if I didn't have to go through, I wouldn't have chosen them. And yet here we are, and I did. But they are part of who I am. Like if I went back and erased some of the experiences that I've had that I would not have had, I wouldn't be who I am today. And so that's one of those things. Now, what she's talking about is if you're in one of those places where things aren't real bright right now, you'll come out the other side. She says our life is in eternity. And it's not always going to be like this. And so it's a good reminder, there are twists and turns in life, and things will ebb and they will flow, and things will happen. And so that's what she's reminding us. It's like, look, whatever you're in right now, whatever period you're in, whatever is happening in your life, it's going to change. And that's just the way life is, It's like, it's just the way life is. And she said, if we could discern the patterns, that's one of the reasons why one of my more favorite terms for God or for spirit is patterning intelligence. Because there are patterns to our lives, and we can make choices. And the good news is that the more experience we have behind us, we tend to make better choices. Especially if we're paying attention. She did say discern. And so that's one of those things. But it's also not to look back at your life with regret. When you look at the twists and turns of your life, the path that your life is not straight, and it's not going to be straight, and it's not going to be straight. It's like, we're going to have twists. We're going to have turns. We're going to have ups. We're going to have downs. And one, that's okay. Two, that's life. In the material experience, it's by definition messy. But don't look back with regret on the twists and the turns and the ups and the downs that your life has been through, because they have made you who you are. Now, if you don't like who you are, well, that's a different conversation. The good news is you're at choice, and you can choose to do something different. You can choose to be something different. Life is an eternity. You have time to make different choices. You don't have to go look in the mirror and go, well, this is just the way I am. You don't have to do that. You can choose anew. You've got time. You've got time to make choices. You've got time to make changes. And because we, on Friday night in the Philosophy Friday, we had that conversation where we said, I look back at my life and there are things that I wouldn't wish on anybody else, but they have made me who I am. So I'm not going to wish they didn't happen. And it takes some doing to come to that. It takes some doing to look at your life and see the mistakes that you have made and the mistakes that others have made, because especially as we are children, some of our experiences, they're not our fault. They came at the hands of others. And so, but you can look back at them and see, okay, here's how that informed my life. Here's how I make choices based on that. So yeah, it was a bad experience. I'm not going to wish it didn't happen. I wouldn't be who I am now. I wouldn't be the loving, kind, and compassionate person that I am now if I hadn't had those experiences. Do I wish they would never happen to anybody ever again? Absolutely. So, but I'm not going to beat myself up over them. And I'm certainly not going to beat myself up over the choices that I've made that didn't work out so well. Because as long as I've learned from them, no experience is wasted. No experience is wasted. If it helps to inform who you are. So, yeah. She says no other way. The good news is if your way has been difficult up to this point, you can choose again. You can choose again. We should forget the hurts, the wanderings, the fears, the wastelands of our life, and know that we could come no other way or grow into our good without these steps our feet found hard to take, our faith found hard to meet. Don't regret who you have been, because it informs who you are. The road of life winds on, and we, like travelers, go from turn to turn until we come to know the truth that life is endless and that we forever are inhabitants of all eternity. So, just know you are at choice now. Look back at the twists and turns of your life and know that you're at choice now. The being that you are, the wonderful being that you are now, was made from those experiences. And she says, let go of the fears, let go of the hurts, let go of the wanderings. Keep the lessons and let go of all of the rest of it and keep going. And I've never read Tolkien. I'm not one of those. I was a C.S. Lewis fan. But I do believe not all who wander are lost. And so in this life, we've got plenty of time. We've got plenty of time. Well, maybe not in this life, but we've got plenty of time. So wander. And make new choices. Learn new things. There's no other way to grow. Your life has unfolded in the way that it has, and you can choose differently now. But if it's going really well, good for you. And if it's not, know that you are at choice. I would say that the mission today, should you choose to accept it, is to not regret your past, but know that you can choose anew now. You can choose anew now. Don't regret your past. It's made you who you are. All right, that's the mission today. The other mission is the same mission I give you every day, which is the mission of self-care. And if we are going to wander, and if we are going to have ups and downs, and if we are going to have twists and turns, and if we are going to look back and see, just how far we've come, we do need to make sure that we take care of ourselves. If you're going to live a life of leverage, if you are going to live a life of service, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So take care of yourself. And that's especially an important message for women in particular, because we tend to put ourselves last, and we can't do that anymore. That's one of those twists and turns. Take care of yourself, then take care of everybody around you. It's like the oxygen mask on the airplane. You put your oxygen mask on first, then you help your neighbor. Because if you don't put your oxygen mask on first, you may not be able to help your neighbor. Take care of yourself. What does it look like? Take a deep breath before you speak, especially to yourself. Give yourself that moment of reflection. It looks like taking a walk. It looks like taking a nap. It looks like taking a break, all of which are the human equivalent of turning yourself off and turning yourself back on again, rebooting yourself. It looks like, eating healthy, and it looks like cheating occasionally, and it looks like going and doing things just for the fun of doing them. It looks like taking care of the things that need to be taken care of, doing your duty. It looks like eating dessert first, which if you've watched any of these, you know that one, I believe chocolate is the first step to fixing anything, but it also means don't save the good stuff. And I've got a new phrase for that. I call it to make the ordinary extraordinary a little more often. Why do we save the fancy clothes and the fancy dishware for holidays? Why not pull all that out on an ordinary Tuesday? Why do we save those fancy candles that we spend a lot of money on until they're sticky and dusty and don't smell the way that they did when we bought them? Use them now. Use them now. Yes, we've got plenty of time, but maybe not in this material existence. Maybe we will change and, leave all this behind. Probably. Ernest didn't think we came back here. I don't know. And I'm not ready to find out yet. So, but don't save the good stuff. So do what you need to do to take care of yourself. There are a couple other suggestions, which I'll give you in a minute, but I just wanted to remind you, and it's been extra important the last couple of years, no matter what is going on in the world, no matter what is going on in your life, you deserve joy. Okay? Joy is a quality of God. Therefore, joy is a quality of you. So my suggestion is to make room for joy. And that can look like doing something, like eating something, like chocolate. Chocolate brings me joy. But sometimes it's like when I came in and discovered that he had found the heating pad, that brings me joy. I also have a sweet memory from a theater, a fundraising gala that I went to that absolutely brings me joy. So whatever it is in your life that brings you joy, I encourage you to hold on to it and do it more often. Do it more often. That's another way to not have too many regrets when we look back at the twists and turns of our life is to pull that joy out more often. All right. The rest of the basic suggestions: do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like for you. It was a bike ride today, and I surely did not want to do it, but I feel better for having done it. So there we are. I do encourage you to drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. As I like to remind you, your brain works better, your body works better, and your skin looks better when you're well hydrated. So drink plenty of water. It was a very hot summer, and so yeah, I was definitely on top of the, hey, drink plenty of water. But as we go into the cooler season and we turn our heat on, then we're all dehydrated. So drink plenty of water. And get that early in your day bright light. I like to remind you that your circadian rhythm benefits from 5 to 10 minutes from 7 to 9 in the morning. If you are not able to get sunlight, it's cloudy, or you get up before the sun does, or you get up well after the sun does because you work late, artificial light does work. And if you need extra support, because like I said, it's 5 to 10 minutes, you can Google either sun lamp or seasonal effect disorder light. At this point, I think you can just buy a light bulb that you can screw into a lamp. So please take advantage of that. I'm talking about supporting your vitamin D, which supports your thyroid, your bone health, your immune system, and your mood. And I'm about resetting your circadian rhythm, which is a natural hormone cycle, which if you work with that, you'll have more energy during the day and sleep better at night. So there's what I'm talking about. All right. And then I'm going to remind I always end my suggestions, self-care, with the Ernest Holmes quote, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you that you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. Okay. What does he mean by that? Heaven is not a place. And I think that Martha would tell you the same thing. Heaven is not a place. It's a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. And once we can learn to create it for ourselves, I mean, children are really good at it. You watch children when they play and just the sheer delight and giggles, they're in heaven right there. And we forget that as we grow up. That's why I talk about joy, making room for joy. Because heaven is a state of mind, a state of consciousness. You come pre-installed with it. Jesus said the kingdom of God is within you. Well, the kingdom of God is heaven, right? Okay? So when we learn to create that state of mind, that state of consciousness, one, heaven ceases to be a place and can become any place. Two, we become islands of peace, islands of calm, in which people find safe places to rest. It doesn't mean that I let them breach my boundaries. It doesn't mean that I let them bring their storm into my peace. But what it does mean is that they can take refuge for a moment from their storm and maybe learn to create heaven for themselves. I cannot walk your path for you, but I can hold my lamp up so you can see where to put your feet. And that is all I'm called to do. It's all you're called to do. But that's how we make a world that works for everybody. All right, beloveds. And you can always take Emma Curtis Hopkins' advice. Look for the good and praise it. Honest to God, count your blessings. It's one of the things they taught us as children to count our blessings. Well, there's a reason. It works. Science says one of the best ways to change a grumpy mood, volunteer service and random acts of kindness. Count your blessings. All right. So I'm going to move forward into, I think I'm at the social media part. So Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the Running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. I thoroughly encourage you to take a look at all of that. There are hours of content. I was listening to the Sunday service last night. I had to take my brother to the airport, so I was there, but only for the opening part. And he listed out all these books. Well, if you tried the Science of Mind textbook first and were like, try reading some of the smaller ones. My absolute favorite is this thing called You. It is such a good book. And I love it so much. When I found out there wasn't an Audible version, I was like, well, you know what? There's going to be now. So if you go to our YouTube channel, you can either go to my YouTube channel, which is the Running Rev Ryan, or the Creative Life Spiritual Center. Look on the playlist and look for this thing called You. I read you the book. It's a good one. It's a good one. I love Ernest Holmes. The textbook is the only book he actually wrote. I think a lot of the rest of the books were actually transcripts of talks that he gave. So they read a lot more easily. And I'm going to look and see if there's some other books out there that maybe, they're not Audible versions, but are very helpful. And I might read a couple more. So, all right. So deep breath. Social media. Oh, right. If you want to know what's going on with the center, please email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on the constant contact. So you'll know what's going on at the center, especially when I don't, because it happens occasionally. Yep. And the hot links are hot. Take you right to the information you want or to the person that will help you get it. Okay. I'm now at the part where I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, an amazing day. A recognizing our patterns day, a not regretting our past day, a recognizing we can make new choices day, a fall day, a kitty on a hot pad day, a make room for joy day, a spend your love recklessly day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough just as you are. As I have said before and will continue to say every day, you are a beloved child of God. You are a brilliant light. You are a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. Or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you're godly. All right? Know the truth of your being. What Martha was reminding us is, to get to know ourselves. And I would like to remind you to peel back the layers of who you have been told you are. Just take all of that stuff off. What society has said, what culture has said, what religion has said, what people who love you have said, what people who don't know you have said, because they definitely have opinions, and pull all of that off and get to know who God knows you to be. Because I can promise you that person that God knows you to be, because God, Spirit created you from itself, you're made of God's stuff, that person is good and that person is cool. So get to know that person. All right, beloveds. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you around 9 a.m. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.